Well, top of the morning to you, and it's a beautiful one today. I've already been doing a bit of physical exercise because I've been removing an old fuchsia for a neighbour. That's the neighbour who lives right on the corner near my plot. And I asked her if she minded if I would borrow her hose today and use it just to spray down the inside of the polytunnel, get rid of all that dust from having the chickens in there. And she said, no problem. So, one good turn deserves another. So I'm looking forward to doing that later on, but I've got a lot to do. I need to remove the contents of the polytunnel that's left, really, so that I can get the dust removed pretty much everywhere. So I'm thinking I'm gonna just take everything out, and anything that I need to spray down, like these containers and trays, I'll just put just outside the polytunnel. I'll move all the plants out because they too have got an awful lot of that dust on them. My onion experiment came to nothing. As you can see, there's a few onions in there. I'll pull them today. I'll probably eat those, but I'll just get this bed cleared as well, I think, so that it's ready. And well, that's going to take me most of the morning, but I am not going to neglect finishing off my raspberry bed, and it really is getting to the point now. Oh, look at that, fantastic. It's getting to the point now where I can see the end, so I'm going to give it a really good bash once or twice during the course of the morning, starting now. Well, from this angle you can get a sense of what's been done and what there is still to do, and it's probably 6-7 feet to go. This is a particularly high lump here, which is making hard work. A bit of slate, but we're getting there, and the clay pan underneath is getting higher, or at least I should say the soil is more shallow, and well, that won't hurt because I've got an awful lot to drag back, but we're making good progress. Right, have a bit of a breather, I think. So let's get some of these plants out, and these two rosemaries typify what's happened. They should be a really lush green, but they're actually a dull shade of grey where all that dust has settled on them. So I'm going to bring those out, put them in one location, and then bring out all the pots and the trays and add to another pile in another location. Things are improving. I thought I'd show you my onions. So this is the leeks, and we've still got a few of these weeds that have come up from the molehill soil that I've used, but that's fine, I can pull those out. They're very few and far between, and if you just pinch them out when you see them, they're next to harmless. And same goes in these. We've got here zebrune, so that's a pretty nice group of zebrune, and this is Bedfordshire Champion, again a nice group of seeds. These are a little bit more thinly sown. This is Elsa Craig, and we've got a few of those weeds in there as well, but they're coming on. They're just a little bit slower, and this therefore must be, yep, Globo, and that's a good portion of Globo there. So that's my onions, and last year I sowed way too many. So this year I've tried to be a little bit more frugal, and hopefully that'll be enough for my needs. It's interesting how many you use once you start potting them up, but what have we got in there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in their little cluster. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. There's about 40 individual plants in there, which I'm sure will be enough. So I'm clear in the corners now, just making myself space to get the dust off of this polytunnel with the hose, and I've pulled out these onions. So these onions were just a little bit of fun really. I'd had some that had remained in trays and I never got to plant, so I thought I'd plant them in the polytunnel for winter. And as you can see, they've moved on a little bit, but they're very, very soft and really not worth dedicating space to. So I've just pulled those out. And I've cleared this bed. I'm just going to put a rake over it and get rid of any of this hay that's left from having the chickens in there. And then, well, it needs a really good soak because it is incredibly dry. So I'll just break the surface and level it out a bit, and that'll get drenched during my hosing. And then over this side, just got the watering cans to move out. And in the corner, I've got these large propagators which are also covered in dust, and I'll spray really strongly with the hose when I get it in here. Right, final steps of clearing. Well, there's something very cathartic about emptying your polytunnel. It's just like having a blank canvas. It's wonderful. So I'm just going to get rid of the last few bits of grass and straw that are lying around, because once I put the hose on the floor, it'll just push all that and we'll get a mass of it. So quick sweep over and then back for lunch. And then after lunch, it's the big wash down. Right, one last brush. I just know I'm going to get soaking wet. But to be honest with you, I don't mind. Right, here we go. Start up at this top end and work my way down the slope. That was quite enjoyable, and if I look around now, I can see pretty much clear membrane, a few bits of chicken poo which I'll soak for a little while before I give it just one more spray. But basically the polytunnel is clean. It's not algae free because I've not been able to do that yet, but I think that'd probably be a job later on in the week. Meanwhile, everything is nice and clean and clear, and it's already feeling like I'll be sowing pretty soon. Right, I need to turn my attention now to all the stuff that I've taken out, which when you bring it out is rather shocking how much there is. Just propagator tops and pieces of perspex for shading and frost protection, of course all the watering cans, and then the plants and more propagators and trays. So I'm going to give all this a really good spray down, and then hopefully it'll be clean and clear, ready to go back in. Well, that's batch one done, and I've just got these propagators to do now, a few trays, get these watering cans cleaned up, and I'm pretty much washed, which feels really good. And I've been washed too. I'm absolutely ringing, but I don't mind. Right, on with these. Well, that's it from me today, folks. I was going to do another strip of the raspberry bed, but to be honest, I'm soaked. I need to go and get dry. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video today, and if you did, then why not like and subscribe? And if you want my notifications at 8 p.m. on a Wednesday and a Sunday, then why not click on the bell at the top? I hope you've had a sunny and really productive weekend. Good times.